I will rather take my chances as a striker than to pass the ball to a defender to score in front of goal. That is bad. And that is what Zikzee did in that match against Liverpool. That is what he did. You put the fate of a whole club of the size of Manchester United in the hand of a defender, thinking that he will score the goal for you. Now, it begs the question, why were you signed as a striker? Why were you signed? Why did Manchester United have to cough out a humongous amount of money to sign you from Bologna just for you to come to Manchester United and pass the ball to a defender in front of goal instead of you as a striker taking the chances? That is what worries me about Zikzee and the kind of his decision-making process, his thought process. How can you put your faith in Harry Maguire, a player that has had issues with Manchester United in the past? He had issues with the players, he had issues with the system, the tactics. He was out of form, he was stripped of the captaincy. And in front of goal, you are passing the ball to a player like that with all the pressure and everything, coupled with the fact that he's a defender. But kudos to Manchester United players. Bruno Fernandes played an amazing game. He had a wonderful outing. For the first time in a long time, he decided to be himself, to return back to his roots. That was what the kind of performance that I've known Bruno Fernandes with all these years. Even when he was signed, his first season in Manchester United that produced more than 16 league goals. He played an amazing game. He was so outstanding on the night. He played a super game. Against Liverpool, he decided to return back to his root. The way he controlled the midfield, the way he controlled the pace of the game, the way he orchestrated play, his passes in the final third. In fact, his dribbling in the middle of the park. He played a very amazing game from Bruno Fernandes. For the first time also in a long time, he led from the front. He led as a captain fantastic. I so much love this game against Liverpool. He played so well. In fact, to even the icing on the cake was even Kobe Mainoo. Kobe Mainoo had to play the game as if it was Paul Scholes in the middle of the park, playing this game, dribbling the Liverpool midfielders as if they weren't there. Bruno Fernandes and Kobe Mainoo were so outstanding on the night, so outstanding. You see those passes going into tight spaces, the way they try to get out of some situations, their link play in the middle of the park. Everything was super executed, super executed. Whatever thing Ruben Amorim said to these guys in the dressing room, he worked. The second half of that game, they blew Liverpool away. Even with Liverpool leading at 2-1, I felt maybe the game was already won for Liverpool. But at 2-1, Man United kept believing, they kept the faith, they kept playing. Liverpool had to even backpedal just to defend the 2-1. But then it didn't happen. It shows you that Man United was super amazing on the night, so exciting to watch. For the first, then people were asking, why is it that Manchester United cannot produce this performance on a regular? Even Bruno Fernandes attested to the fact. He said the same thing in his press conference, that if they were performing like this in the games they were supposed to win, they wouldn't be where they are in the table right now. They played so well. In fact, the game was Man United to win, if not for the misgivings of Zikzee, Harry Maguire, and some of the wastefulness in front of goal. They would have won that game comfortably. Remember when I said that Liverpool may not win the league this season? So if you look at the Manchester United game, you will understand the reason why I've said consistently that Liverpool is not going to win the league this season. Remember this January period, this period of the season is when Liverpool always loses form. Now against the Manchester United that has, in fact, they struggle to even win game or even get a draw. I watched this Manchester United game against Newcastle and what Newcastle did to them. Now against Liverpool that is leading the pack, you couldn't even perform, you couldn't even execute your game, execute your tactics against a Man United team that is half-baked. Now, what makes you think that the remaining games in the season you are going to get over the line with it? Manchester United match, I've always said consistently that if Man United want to go far with the kind of players they have now, they will need to build that team around Garnacho, Kobe Mainoo, Ahmad, Euro, these young players, maybe Højlund and the rest of them. Someone even had to make a joke on the night that Lisandro Martinez is even a better striker than Højlund. Lisandro Martinez, that goal was simply superb from a defender. Harry Maguire would have learned or borrowed a lead from Lisandro Martinez when playing that game instead of hitting the ball, ahead of over the bar. But for some reasons, he missed that goal. That goal would have been the icing on the cake for the kind of performance that Manchester United put on at Anfield against Liverpool. This Liverpool team at Anfield is a different beast. It's a different set of team. You hardly win them. But then the game was begging Man United to win. But the players had to let them down. Look at Garnacho when he entered the game. When he entered the game and Kobe Mino was leaving the pitch, I felt for a minute like, why is this change? Why is it happening? Kobe Mino has been spot on in the middle of the park. He's doing well, excellently well so far. But then maybe fatigue, maybe he's out of energy. But when Garnacho came in, the Man United attack took a different dimension. It took a different dimension. Look at the cross he had to give to I think the equalizing goal from Manchester United. That cross was so on point, so on point. In fact, you needed to be in that position to take that run to be able to square play that game. Honestly. But Zikzee on the night said no, Man United is not going to win the game. What made Manchester United players have that kind of performance? Was it down to what the coach was telling them, or down to the board issues or off the pitch issues in Man U? Now that is no. The players decided to play. Maybe because it was a big game, maybe the bragging right and so many things were at stake in the game that they needed to put in that kind of performance. We don't know yet. But whatever thing that happened, if they are able to maintain that consistency, then definitely, for the first time, the game didn't even miss Rashford. You know, his absence was not felt. The club is moving forward. The players are moving forward. The coach is a forward-thinking coach. You know, Ruben Amorim, his substitutions, his tactics, his system, everything is so wonderful, so on point. But in terms of execution, that is where the big question always comes in. For Liverpool, I don't know, Mo Salah, kudos to him for the penalty he scored. But is that a penalty? Well, some people have some sentiments out there that it's not a penalty, is this, is that. But the rule is the rule. I always love the rule so much when it has to apply to certain things. It is the rule. Once your hand touch, the handball rule is a very harsh rule. Everybody is quite aware of it. The fact the IFAB has, you know, on several occasions, season after season, tried to change the handball rule, but to no avail. It's not working. Because of what? You cannot exactly put a rule to say that this is what the handball rule should be. Honestly, they've tried it in the past and it has failed and it's still failing. But so long as today that is the rule, then definitely that ball is a handball and it's a penalty. So whatever sentiment you have about it, keep your sentiments aside. The law is not a respecter of your sentiment or anything. Once it is the rule, the referee will have to apply the rule the way it is. Because if you watch that game, the referee even waved the handball aside. He waved it. Maybe in the passage of play, he didn't see it. But when he was, you know, made to go to the VAR to check it, then definitely it became a handball. And there is no way some people will say that, oh, it's not a handball, is this, is that. That is the rule. And I don't have much thing to say about it. So the game was an interesting game. I so much had a lot of fun watching it. You know, it was amazing. You know, we saw the lapses that was in the Liverpool team. Arnold didn't perform the way he was supposed to perform. Van Dijk on the night was so angry, especially when the equalizing goal came from Manchester United, the 2-2. When it came, Van Dijk was so angry. The Liverpool players were disappointed in their defense line and everything. But this is football. Anything can happen. A smaller team can come up on the night and beat any top team. This is the Premier League. This is the way football has always been.